Hey, feeling congested. It's never good. I've been doing a lot of deep breathing and stuff, so it's probably what's making it feel weird. So, whew, just a long day of trying to distract, and I feel okay. I mean, I don't feel better than yesterday, but my DPDR and fog kind of stuff is everything's just a little worse today, but nothing too excruciating. Feeling a little congested and yeah, probably something that'll fade. But every time I get congested, I think I have COVID. So we'll see how it goes. Sure, it's just stress and deep breathing and stuff. That's probably the reason. It's excruciatingly frustrating looking for apartments when you're on a deadline. It's kind of the trouble. You live in an apartment building and you're supposed to give a 60-day notice. But how are you going to give a 60-day notice when you can't start really looking for apartments for like 60 days? So it's a little unnerving, and I might have. I was pretty fucking sick. I guess I got sick twice, and one of them probably wasn't COVID, and then one probably was. I mean, it feels like I'm just starting to come out of it now. It's been months since I've been sick. 4.5 months since I cut the meds. But yeah, you're probably right. But anyway, so I had a conversation with my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, this morning. It's kind of this afternoon, and we're gonna do our best to just get along and stuff like that. Antibiotics, that was a long, long time ago. Jeez, that was a long time ago. Anyway, we had we talked, and we're gonna try to do everything to get along and not screw each other over. Um, it's gonna be really complicated because we both need an apartment that's reasonably priced, and there's only so many around these areas. And we're realizing that we're calling the same places and being put on lists, like hold lists on the same fucking apartment complexes. How weird is that? Wouldn't be the end of the world by any means, but it's not ideal. But I'm on a wait list for one one apartment that I really want to go to. But the odds, I mean, I actually think she's ahead of me, so she'd probably get in there before me, which kind of pisses me off a little. Because it's exactly where the town I wanted to be in originally. like when we were gonna move out together. And it would be right where I need to work. There's just not many places that are affordable. And half the time it's affordable. Hey, Stefan. Half the time when it's affordable, it's a fucking senior living place. So it's like, sadly, I had to up what I could pay just so I could like find a place at all. It's really kind of frustrating. There was one I was kind of excited for in another town. And it was a senior fucking living place. It was totally hidden. There's another place I can't get a hold of. I'll try to call them right now. It's a little late though. But they're on an answering system.
Bot is full and cannot accept new messages at this time.
You know, shit like that. That's what it's constant. It's really frustrating. Most of the apartments damn around here are fucking senior apartments. It pisses me off. But there is one place in another town I want to look at. It's a converted building for lofts, and it's relatively in my price range, but it's not that big of a building, and I don't think it's going to be available. And if it is available, it would be like it says available soon. Let me see if I could show you. There you go. So it's a converted loft. Those are probably like the nicer ones. They always take the pictures of the nicer shit, you know. But like places like this people don't leave, especially when they're reasonably priced. So it's an old building like that. It was an old mattress factory. I love shit like that. So I'm gonna keep calling them and see if I can get a hold of them. And I know as soon as they say June, they're gonna be like, oh, it's too far out. But if they say like 2 months before, I'll have to try to figure that one out. Because I wouldn't mind going to that town. It's just farther away. It's not what I want to do exactly, but I can't be too picky, you know. I'm glad the seniors have places to go, but it seems in Wisconsin, half of them are senior buildings. And those are the only ones that are reasonably priced. It's like every time you see a good price, you have to be like, oh, I hope it's not a senior building. And half the time they hide the fact that it's a senior building until like you read it all. It's like, oh, Christ. Because I think that I always thought there was more options than there was, and it's because they're all senior buildings. So that's one of my stressors right now is coming up with a place to live that's under. I'd ideally be under $800, but I'd go up to 900. 900's really tops for me right now, and that's fucking pushing it because I'm tapering the fucking Remeron and shit, and I gotta fucking pay all these bills. It's gonna suck. Yeah, the insomnia comes and goes. It's okay right now. I'm actually sleeping a lot better lately. My anxiety's been down, which is weird considering my stress, but anxiety's been down. And that always makes my sleep worse. Couldn't really rest today. So yeah, it's just different. I mean, I always say it's akathisia, but it's just different. It's not like where I need to pace and shit. My symptom is completely different than anybody else's, and nobody else can relate to it. I always call it the snow globe effect. And basically, it's totally backwards akathisia because the more I move, the worse it gets. So, like, if I move my leg like this, everything my pants rubbed across now inside my leg feels like a ton of like if you picture a snow globe, everything moving around, but that's like pain and turmoil inside my body, and it moves and then it slows down as I sit, and then it fades away. It doesn't fully fade away; it always is there, but um, people have told me it's type of akathisia, but nobody's really confirmed like relating to it. So to me, that's really weird. But every time I taper, it gets 100 times worse for a while, and then it calms down. Like now, it's not as bad because I haven't tapered in a while. But physical symptoms are tolerable. Sometimes it gets worse. If I'm on my feet for work for a couple hours, it's pretty bad for the rest of the day. But it's nothing I can't handle. It's only becomes where I can't handle for like 2 weeks after I taper. So yeah, could be worse, I guess. But it's one of my worst symptoms. When it gets bad, it's bad. So akathisia is just so many things. So it's really hard to say what it is, but that's what I always called it anyway. So yeah, we've officially, as a couple, now that we're not dating, we've officially uh, let everybody know that we're not together anymore, which is totally bizarre for me because that really makes it real, you know. And it sucks letting people know, especially family. You know, I haven't told my family, but like her family, I mean, they took me in and they were a better family than I've ever had in my life. So I'm gonna miss that the most. But honestly, out of everything that's going on, the most hurt that I have from it, and as much as I'll miss my what was my girlfriend, is her family. Yeah, anything that hits the nervous system, whatever your major symptoms were, they're always going to come back with a big vengeance. I keep on getting like these hits of my nervous system because with my girlfriend and stuff, and it's like if we're about to like argue or something, happens, I start shaking and shit, and then that brings up my what I call akathisia, and it brings up my DPDR and fog and stuff like that. And my nervous system is just taking a beating lately. But I feel I've been in a partial window as well for a lot of symptoms. So, I'm lucky I've made it this far in the last 4 days. As somebody I know said, this might be my new baseline. And if that's the case, I'll be okay with that because my baseline for the last 4 months was pretty hellish. So this is a little better. And I'm just going to remain holding the Remeron. I'm not going to taper. I probably won't taper for another 6 months. Well, realistically, probably longer. I'm going to move and get settled and make sure I can pay my bills and stuff like that. So, hey Dylan, what's going on? So I'm just gonna try to get as stable as I can in the situation. It's gonna be brutal. It is. It's gonna be brutal. It is another of one of my nightmares that I didn't want to come true in withdrawal. And so far, all my nightmares have come true, but my major nightmares have not come true. So I'll be grateful for that. You know. Wow, that is positive. Mr. Dylan's positive today because it always works out, which it usually does. But yeah, hard to believe sometimes. God, I hate feeling congested. It always makes me think the worst, like I'm getting sick. But since it came out of nowhere, I'm gonna assume it was just a fluke, and it'll probably fade by tomorrow. But who knows? I'll say. Usually when you get sick, you don't start out congested. But we'll see. The weather has been going up and down. Today was, this morning was below, like 0, and tomorrow is gonna be 50. I mean, this shit's gonna fuck me up. And then back down to 20. Yeah, some days work can be okay and tolerable, and some days it's just fucking torture. But I'm lucky, and I could at least, not go if I'm in terrible condition. I should at least be somewhat tolerable. I'm gonna cut off here in a few minutes. I hope you all have a good evening. Despite the situation. I'm gonna go relax and watch some TV and inevitably do more research on places to live. Annoying. Worst part about it is deadline stuff. It's just like impossible to move from an apartment to an apartment and make it happen smoothly. Especially when you got two people in an apartment that are both trying to find separate apartments. Yeah, it's such a fucking headache. Alright. You all have a good night.